So hello everyone and welcome to Mino Matisi8in, the philosophy of well-being according to the Algonquins. And today I'll be facilitated by Dominic Rankin and Marie-Josée Tardif. We are honored to have you joining us today and grateful to you for supporting the Moose-Hide campaign. My name is Mino Matisi8in and I work with the Moose-Hide campaign as the Government of Canada Moose-Hide campaign lead. I am joining you all today from the traditional territory of the Algonquin peoples, the Songhees, the Esquimalt, and the Casadanich peoples, whose historical relationships with this land continue today. As we're all participating today from different parts of Turtle Island, I encourage you all to take some time to familiarize yourself with your traditional territory you're residing and include that knowledge and learning in your space today as we ground ourselves in ceremony. Before we begin, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping notes. During this session, everyone's mics will remain muted and the general chat function is off. If you have any questions, you can message me directly in the chat. And again, my name is Mino Matisi8in, and I will bring your question forward to Dominic and Marie-Josée. We will do our best to answer as many of your questions before the end of the workshop. This workshop will have a breakout session. This breakout session is an opportunity for members on the Zoom call to share their voice, learnings, and thoughts with one another. During the breakout session, all of your mics will be unmuted. It is very important that everybody in this call be treated kindly and act respectfully. Any inappropriate behavior will result in removal from this call. If anyone is in need of assistance at any time during the session, you can message myself or our technician, Dave, directly. You can also visit our events microsite wellness center for a list of support resources. This can be found directly on the microsite link under wellness. I will be posting 2 questions onto the screen at the end of the workshop for your feedback. We would be very grateful if you could take a moment to answer these questions and send your responses to me directly through the chat feature. It is now my great pleasure to introduce you to Dominic Rankin and Marie-Josée Tardif. I'm going to quickly read their bio to give you some background information about them. Dominic Rankin has, after a successful career in politics and serving as Grand Chief of the Algonquin Nation, Dominic turned his focus to his role as a spiritual leader. He has since devoted his efforts to teaching and healing, as well as preserving and promoting Indigenous cultures, both nationally and internationally. A survivor of the painful era of Indian residential schools, he gives a vibrant testimony about forgiveness and reconciliation in the book they called as Savages. Co-chair of the World Council of Religions of Peace, an organization linked to the United Nations, Elder Dominic is a member of the Order of Canada and a Knight of the National Order of Quebec. Senator for the Native Friendship Centers movement in Canada, he is also founding president of Kimawat and of the Dominic Rankin Foundation, but to many he is simply Grandfather Dominic, a man known for his boundless energy, his irrepressible sense of humor, and the broad message of peace and harmony he shares across Canada and the world. Dominic and Marie-Josée are the authors of They Called Us Savages, a hereditary chief's quest for truth and harmony. Marie-Josée spent her first 15 years of her professional career making a name for herself as a journalist and news anchor in Quebec, Saskatchewan, and the UK. Her personal work and journalistic curiosity soon led her to explore our human potential, which in turn led her to meet and interview visionaries such as Eckhart Tolle, Don Miguel Ruiz, and the Dalai Lama. In 2007, her existence shifted when the elders of the Algonquin Nation offered her to become a sacred pipe carrier, which meant she would have to devote her entire life to the study of the traditional medicine and culture of this ancient people. In addition to sitting on several international committees, including the Global Women of Faith Network, the woman now known as Grandmother Marie-Josée is the co-founder of the Dominic Rankin Foundation and the nonprofit organization Kimawat, 2 organizations dedicated to the preservation and transmission of Indigenous traditions. I'd like to now pass our floor to Marie-Josée and Dominic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ronili. You did it well.
Merci.
So, as the tradition wants it, I'll let Grandfather guide us through this session and start with a prayer, probably in his own language, which is the Anishinaabe language and also Cree language. And then we'll go on after that.
Thank you very, very much. Thank for the Creator to give to me a nice gift this afternoon with my brothers and my sisters. Deani kaudusea no pemek giojo bigi. Manege gun gipi wapatas. Giwito kaka de benchigech. Kia but gogo gachima ka de benchigech kiwito kabu. Kijoko kapo yak. Kijo jomenan gitakina. Me watching the nashit. Nemetogoma. The Westism. The Benesism. Me gigos on a coin. Gigani Wama Makwa. A sugar garbage. Gikano Mabuk. Me got the Naga de Benjigas. Osakum Baku Cinema. Eoniskan. Gagishigama. Motion cases. Esakang discutemen. Me got a Sintana who come to pick cases. A geek can only miss it Cabana Honin. Thanks, the Creator. This afternoon with my brothers and my sisters. You know who you are. We are together Anishinaabe people, human. Thank you very, very much for everything. All different medicine plants. Thanks, Mother Earth. Thanks, my mom, my dad, all people on the world. Thanks for the woman too, especially. I received many teachings from my mom. Miigwech mama, you know, miigwech.
So we were asked to talk to you about the concept of Mino Matisi8in. Of course, we would like also to talk to you about the importance of the teachings of the feminine and the masculine energies, which are central to the teachings I received anyway through the Anishinaabe people. So maybe you can start, and don't be surprised because Grandfather has been sent to a French-speaking residential school when he was little, so he had to learn French before learning English. And sometimes it's much easier for him if I translate, so he might speak French and then me translating. So we'll see what happens.
Miigwech going. Mino Matisi8in. That's a very big medicine. We use that often, every day. Only one medicine very important for in the world is a big smile, like this. I don't care. I lose my teeth, so that's okay. The same smile. And yes, I went to the resident school, and I received many teaching from my mom and my dad. What the man done time many years ago. I saw my dad every day to do something for the survive in the forest. I born in the forest too. I passed my time in the forest, and I can't forget the Mino Matisi8in that time when I born to the 7 years old. 7 years old, I saw really life in the forest, and after that, story for the resident school. So I passed 7 years ago in the resident school. And as they worked for healing today to get some medicine from all different people. I don't care color. I saw medicine, scientific medicine. I saw traditional medicine too. So for me, it's very important for me is myself first to help people. I thank myself. I work very hard to find my
Your balance.
what I believe, my philosophy, who I am, and today I know very well Mino Matisi8in because thanks for my everything medicine like drums. When I started singing with my drums, I start there for to work for me for the medicine. Today, I'm not trying to say I'm not anymore victim. What happened? 7 years, like in the jail. So that's okay. Today, I take that like a teaching for the future generation. And thank you very much to be there because you are very special people for the future generation. And I have 74 years old. I saw many things to change in my life. When they start to mine everything in the forest, the RCMP coming to see us to move my land. So I'm lucky man because I never forget when I received a teaching from my dad to be a trapper, hunter, like a fishing man. We call that Mino Matisi8in. The many things come back today. And that's why I'm here today. J'ai vu plein de choses dans ma vie.
I saw many things in my life.
J'ai senti mes blessures aussi aujourd'hui.
I felt my wounds also.
Et j'ai toujours continué à marcher droite.
But I was always able to walk straight forward.
Et je marche comme des animaux.
Like the animals.
Des animaux qui m'ont enseigné dans la forêt.
The animals who taught me in the forest.
C'est la raison pourquoi que je suis ici.
This is the reason why I'm here.
Je remercie tous les enseignements que j'ai reçus.
I thank all the teachings I received.
Même des enseignements qui ne m'appartiennent pas
Even
dans ma philosophie.
The teachings I received from other philosophies.
J'appelle ça aujourd'hui Mino Matisi8in.
This is all about Mino Matisi8in. This
C'est
is how I call it.
c'est la richesse qu'on partage dans la vie, chacun de nous.
It's the richness that we can share in life.
Je vous connais depuis longtemps
I know you since a long time
parce que vous avez le même sang que moi.
because we share the same blood.
Le sang est rouge.
All the blood is red.
Au-dessus de nos mains,
If you look on the top of your hand,
il y a des veines qui passent
you see the veins
et c'est du sang rouge.
and the blood inside is red.
Chez nous, on appelle ça
And
le
home,
sang préhistorique.
We call this the prehistorical blood.
Et je suis très fier aussi de supporter le mouvement. Qu'est-ce que je porte sur moi?
And I'm very
It's
proud to support the movement, Most High Campaign.
Je crois ça.
I believe in it.
J'ai perdu beaucoup dans ma famille.
I lost a lot of people in my own family.
Mais Mino Matisi8in, il faut croire nous-mêmes.
When we talk about Mino Matisi8in, it means many different things, and we can say that it's about believing in yourself too.
On parle tous les jours de bien-être mental et physique.
So it's mainly about talking about your wellness, the well-being.
La mémoire des anciens, ils m'ont laissé, je l'utilise aujourd'hui, je partage aujourd'hui.
I'm sharing today all the memory, all the teachings of the ancestors, and I'm happy to share that with you today.
Ça nous appartient tous.
It belongs to us all.
Le cercle de guérison,
The healing circle, for instance.
ça, c'est ça qui m'a sauvé la vie.
Well, I can say it saved my life.
Quand je regarde le cercle de guérison, il y a 4 couleurs.
When I look at the healing circle, there are 4 colors.
La couleur jaune qui détermine direction S.
And
Oh, la
for
vie
us,
commence.
we say that the yellow color is about the direction east, where life begins.
Direction sud,
In the
rouge.
south, it's the color red for us,
Ça nous rappelle le feu sacré,
and it reminds you of the sacred fire,
d'être toujours à l'écoute
to
envers qui que ce soit.
always be listening.
Mais Mino Matisi8in, pour moi, c'est important, chaque des directions.
For me, when you talk about Mino Matisi8in, the concept of well-being, it's important to talk about the 4 directions.
Direction sud, c'est le respect.
And about the south, we can also say that it's about respecting yourself. And if you can respect yourself, you can respect the others.
La direction ouest, c'est la réconciliation chaque jour.
In the West, for me, it's important to talk about reconciliation every day.
On devra prendre soin de nous chaque jour, chaque soir,
We should take care of ourselves every night, every evening,
de lâcher prise,
and learn to let go,
de laisser des barrières qui ce qui est arrivé dans la journée.
to let go of the barriers that happen during your day.
Et direction nord,
And then in the North,
il faut aller chercher la paix en intérieur pour vivre dans la liberté d'esprit.
you get the peace within yourself and the inner freedom.
C'est ça qui m'a sauvé,
This is
vraiment.
what really saved my life.
Et je remercie les anciens pour ça.
And I thank the ancestors for that.
Je voudrais donner la parole aussi à ma douce qui est ici.
I'd like to give now a chance for my
My love.
soft one, you said, to talk. We don't have a lot of time together, but we're just trying to give you a little idea of the concept of Mino Matisi8in. So it's really the whole philosophy of the First Nations people. And I've learned through the Anishinaabe people that we also call the Algonquin. And one thing I wanted to share with you today is the symbolic of the sacred pipe. So if one day you attend a sacred pipe ceremony, you'll see that the pipe is divided in 2 parts. There's the stone part, which we say that it's representing the feminine, and the stick, the stem, represents the masculine. And when we are outside the ceremony, we always keep them separated. And the whole thing is about connecting them during a ceremony. And for me, it's so important as a symbol because it's showing you that we can reunite what is divided. Each one of us has a feminine and a masculine energy, a left brain, a right brain. We're always torn between our reason and our emotions, the science that we see everywhere in the world, the technology, this propension for action all the time and speed. And right now, I think the world really needs to reconnect with the feminine that is also symbolized for us by the turtle. So the turtle is really connected to the earth. It goes slowly. It's connected to water as well. And what is so special about the turtle is that it can go within. And then we will say it's similar to a mother's womb. And it's all about interiority, being at peace in silence. It's about gestation. It's about meditation and prayer, connection within yourself. And each time we go and we give, we're asked to talk about the environment or peace, we say, well, right now the world is so much into the masculine value system, where, as I said, we have so much action and always the desire to go further and, go to Mars now after the moon. And this is all about the outside, all about materialistic things. And it's okay, but when it's too much, then we have this unbalance problem. And I've heard in so many different First Nations prophecies that, they were waiting for this moment to happen. They were waiting for this moment where the white people would come back to them and say, okay, we think we have lost our balance. Can you help? And they've been waiting for such a long time for what we're doing right now. And the message is always the same. It's reconnecting the sacred pipe, the peace pipe. It's reconnecting all those parts that were so divided right now. And if you want to make peace outside, you have to start reconnecting those parts within yourself first. And that's why the concept of Mino Matisi8in is so important, because it has to start with yourself. Shomis mentioned that a little bit earlier when he says, I think of myself first. It's not in a selfish way. Very often your father and yourself, you were saying all the time, give yourself everything first, nurture yourself, feed yourself on the physical level, of course, but also in your heart and in your spirit. And when you're well nurtured, then it's easy, it's feasible to give to the others. If your battery is always empty, what are you giving to the others? Veux-tu continuer?
The seventh fire prophecy, the number 5, we are number 5, fire.
In the prophecy of the 7 fires that belongs to the Anishinaabe people, each fire corresponds to an era in the future, and you say we are in the 5th fire right now. It was predicted that one day
il y aura une famille sur notre,
will form one family altogether on our earth.
Il n'y en aura plus de différence.
And there will be no difference anymore.
Ça a été prédit de prendre toujours sur le bon chemin.
It was predicted that we have.
C'est bien la technologie, mais il faut toujours garder aussi la tradition.
It was predicted that we would have to choose between 2 paths: the path of technology, but the path of technology that goes really, really fast and rushing towards technology, or the path of spirituality. which is a path that goes slowly, but where the earth is still alive. And right now, this is what the elders also see about our era, what we're experiencing right now on the earth.
So every day, Mino Matisi8in said to do what you can do today. Don't go over what you can do. You're not machine. You are Anishinaabe. Really Anishinaabe.
And maybe you've seen the videos that we've been filming for Moosehead campaign previously. I think they are on the website. We were talking about the role of men towards the feminine, towards women. And each time I love talking about the fact that when men wear their bandanas, like Shamis is right now, it's showing their respect towards the feminine, towards women, but also everything that is feminine, including Mother Earth and the medicines, etc. But it's also a commitment to protect everything that is feminine. And that's how the Moosehead campaign, as I understand it, that's how it started. The idea of coming back to the role of men. But for us, it means not only protect the indigenous women, which is super important, of course, but also protecting the earth, protecting everything that is feminine, including your own feminine aspects.
Nous, les hommes, on a un rôle important dans la vie.
Us men, we have a very important role in life.
On doit protéger tout ce qui est
We
féminin.
must protect everything that is feminine.
Quand il y a trop de pouvoir,
When there's too much power,
Mino Matisi8in n'est plus là.
Mino Matisi8in disappears.
Je vais juste vous parler un peu de l'expérience vécue au Vatican.
I'd like to tell you about an experience we had in the Vatican.
On est invité pour aller parler la terre-maman.
We were invited to go there to talk about Mother Earth.
Le pape avait une vision avant qu'il soit élu.
The Pope had this vision before being elected.
Puis il a toujours continué sa
And he
vision.
went on, he kept this vision afterwards.
On n'a pas refusé l'invitation.
We didn't refuse the invitation.
C'était le moment est arrivé, c'est là qu'il faut aller.
And when the moment happened, we went
Et on est allé au Vatican.
to the Vatican.
Et j'ai frappé un mur
And I hit a wall
parce que ça m'a fait rappeler aussi la fameuse histoire du pensionnat des robes noires.
because when I saw all those black robes going around, it brought me back to the residential school.
C'est là que je me suis dit, si je ne passe pas
And I
en
said to
travers de cette
myself,
mort-là, je vais rester toujours comme victime.
if I'm not getting through, I will always remain as a victim.
Mais j'ai passé. en
So I
travers.
went through
Je
this,
suis très fier de
and
moi.
I'm very proud of myself.
Et quand on a commencé pour la réunion pour la terre-maman,
And when we started this meeting that was meant for Mother Earth,
il y avait devant nous les cardinaux,
there were
les
cardinals,
évêques,
bishops,
et tout de suite, ils ont ouvert le document.
and they straight away they opened their documents and started with their agenda.
Et j'ai donné un coup de coude à ma femme et dit, ils ne prient pas.
And
Hein?
I said to my wife, they're not praying.
Pour parler de la terre-maman, il faut prier.
If we want to talk about Mother Earth, we have to
Après.
pray first.
Après, vous pouvez ouvrir votre agenda.
And afterwards, you can open your agenda.
Et j'ai demandé de me donner la parole.
So I asked if I could speak,
Ils m'ont donné.
and they said yes.
Ma prière, c'était, j'ai demandé à toutes les femmes qui étaient présentes dans la salle,
And when I started
Yes,
my
indeed.
prayer, I asked to all the women who were present in the room to stand up.
et j'ai dit aux évêques,
And I told the bishops,
regardez les femmes qui sont debout.
I want you to look at the women who are standing up right now.
On ne voit pas le sourire,
We don't see them smiling.
on voit qui sont tristes.
we see that they're sad.
Vous devrez demander à eux vraiment sur les questions de la Terre maman parce que c'est eux qui tiennent la Terre.
If you really want to talk about Mother Earth, you have to ask them first because they are the ones who hold the earth.
Et après, on a fait un beau cercle de guérison.
And afterwards, we started a beautiful healing circle.
Et c'est ça, chaque fois que je fais un mouvement comme ça ensemble,
And each time we have this kind of movement together,
je parle beaucoup Mino Matisi8in.
I speak a lot about Mino Matisi8in.
Alors, je remercie à toutes les femmes qui sont là présentement.
So again, I want to thank all the women who are here right now.
Vous êtes tous des femmes médecines
You are all medicine women.
et vous portez aussi de l'eau.
You carry water
Alors, vous donnez la vie.
and you give birth.
Et nous, les hommes,
And
nous sommes
us
des
men,
guerriers.
We are warriors.
On doit tout protéger, qu'est-ce qui est
We
féminin.
must protect everything that is
Et
feminine.
c'est comme ça que le calumet est arrivé.
And that's how the sacred pipe arrived.
Je suis porteur de 7 calumets.
I am a carrier of 7 sacred pipes.
Chaque calumet a un mandat dans la vie.
Each one of them has a mandate, a duty.
J'ai porté celui-là en Vatican, c'est que j'ai reçu la première, quand il m'a été offert la première calumet.
And when I went to the Vatican, I brought with me the first pipe I received.
C'est ça que je voulais vous partager,
And
le
this
rôle
is
d'un homme.
what I wanted to share with you, the role of men.
Miigwech, les gars.
Thank you to all of you guys who are here.
Je vous aime.
I love you.
J'ai jamais été capable de dire aux hommes et aux femmes, je t'aime,
In the past, I was not able to tell men or women I love you
parce que j'étais blessé.
because I was wounded.
Puis aujourd'hui, je le fais encore, une demande pardon d'avoir vous jugé.
Today, I want also to ask for your forgiveness because I used to judge you.
Et c'est ça, Mino Matisi8in.
And this is all about Mino Matisi8in too.
Miigwech, de m'avoir écouté.
Thank you for listening to us. So I know that we've been telling you many things, but for us, it's important that you experience also another beautiful part of our medicine and about Mino Matisi8in, this concept of well-being and living together. And it's the talking circle. So we would like you to experience what it is. And since the pandemic, we discovered that we can do it through Zoom, which was a big surprise to us. If we were together for real, then we would use a talking stick and then it would be passed around the circle. And over the last years before the pandemic, when that was happening, Shumis had this idea to surprise everyone, because usually the talking stick goes from your left to the right. And then when the talking stick was slowly coming towards you, then you had this little hamster here starting to run in your head, and you were preparing your speech, and that we don't want. Because when the talking stick comes into your hands, what we want is to have you connecting with your real speech, all the words that come from your heart. And that you cannot plan in advance. It has to come in the present moment. So we find it quite helpful when we do it with Zoom, because you have the names of the people with your group, and then you take them by surprise. So you just see the names, and then you give the talking stick to whoever in the list that is written on the right of your screen. And then the person is not preparing the speech, and it comes naturally. And we do it when we are together for real. We do the same thing. When you finished with your talking stick, you stand up and you go around the circle and you give it to whomever. And then afterwards, everybody has spoken without knowing when it would happen. And so we asked Dave, our technician, before we started this workshop, to prepare for groups of around 15 people. We'll take, I would say, about 20 minutes for a talking circle. And we would like to suggest to you one question that you could answer in the talking circle. And that would be, how are you right now feeling with the feminine energies in your life? And when we talk about the feminine energies, we talk about your emotions, your intuition, the connection within, your inner space, Mino Matisi8in, silence, slowing down. How is it going in your life? And if 20 minutes is enough for the 15 people to speak, then you can do another round. But I would say that if everybody speaks about 1 minute, that should work. So I don't know if Dave wants to put a little chronometer so that we know that in 20 minutes we come back at the same time. I think that's what we could do.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, okay. So, and afterwards, if you have questions, we'll keep like something like half an hour or almost half an hour for your questions, of course. Okay, so are we ready? And of course, Shamis and I will find ourselves somewhere in one group. We'll see which group the computer chooses. All right, let's do it. All right, we're all back together. That went fast. That went really fast. So right now, Ronnie Lee, we're ready to hear your questions, everyone, and Ronnie Lee will facilitate all that. I guess, Ronnie Lee, that they can write their questions in the chat.
Yep. Just direct them directly to me in the chat feature, and I will go through them and read them out aloud to both Shamis and Marie-Josée. So
yeah, and also, I don't know if you have questions already, but also they can share with us all the things that went into their own talking circles. In ours, you know, we had lots of very important points that were brought. So maybe also we can comment after all the talking circles you had on your side. So we follow you, Ronnie, if you have already questions or comments.
Okay. Yeah, I do have a couple that did come in. I apologize if I pronounced them wrong, but this one is for Shamis. Are you familiar with Miskasoin and how they may relate to Mino Matisi8in?
Miskasoin? Est-ce que tu connais le Miskasoin, puis est-ce que c'est en relation avec Mino Matisi8in?
Miskasoin, c'est notre nom.
Comment, how do you write it down, Ronnie?
The first word is Miskasoin.
Miskasoin.
Yeah.
Miskasoin.
Miskasoin.
C'est le bien-être.
I think it's the same thing. Yeah?
Ma mère, c'est une Cree.
My mother is Cree.
Il dirait, il prononcerait ce mot-là.
And this is what you would say
personnel.
When you talk about your own well-being. So it depends in which language, but he thinks that it's probably coming from the Cree language. And it's the same thing as Mino Matisi8in. Huh?
Mm-hmm. C'est la même. About the same.
Same thing.
Okay, thank you. That question was from Kelly. And now we have one from Shara. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this is for Shamis. You mentioned your prophecies around white people coming to ask about rebalancing. I hope that it is coming sooner rather than later. What does that look like and how can we help? And how do we practice letting go of our barriers on a daily basis?
Okay, there are many questions in one question.
Yeah.
So we'll go one by one. So the first one is about the prophecy and what can we do right now? Is that it?
The first one is about rebalancing
Rebalancing.
and how can we help.
OK. Alors, comment on peut retrouver l'équilibre? Tu sais, quand tu as parlé de la prophétie, comment on peut retrouver l'équilibre? Puis comment on peut aider pour qu'on ramène l'équilibre sur Terre? C'est comme ça que je comprends la question.
La prophétie,
The
c'est
prophecy
une façon de voir des choses à l'avant.
is a way of seeing things that are coming.
Et pour moi, c'est important. Je lis souvent la prophétie de sept feux chaque matin quasiment. C'est mon guide.
Almost every morning, I enjoy reading the prophecy of the seven fires. It's really helpful.
Au début, j'attendais toujours quand ça va arriver, tel feu.
In the beginning, I was always trying to figure out when would the next fire occur.
Et j'ai fini par comprendre
And I ended
qu'il ne
up
faut jamais courir après quoi que ce soit.
understanding that we should never run after anything.
Surtout un animal, on ne peut pas courir après un animal, il va sauver.
For instance, an animal, if you run after an animal, it will go away.
Ce sont des esprits.
There are spirits.
Et ces esprits, ils sont là, à l'intérieur, dans les sept feux. Et il n'y a personne qui peut prévenir quand est-ce que ça va arriver.
And you can say it the same way that there are spirits within each of the seven fires, and you cannot predict when they will happen.
Ça fait des années qu'on est dans le cinquième feu.
We've been in the fifth fire for many, many years.
Et ça fait pas longtemps qu'on parle de la réconciliation entre les peuples.
And as you can see, we're just starting to talk about reconciliation together.
Et ça commence
It's
maintenant.
starting now.
On est tous là ensemble.
We're together right now.
Alors, tout ce qu'ils disaient les prophéties,
So all what they were expecting to happen in those prophecies,
les dernières phrases de le septième feu, c'est très, très important pour moi. Sommes-nous des gens qui vont allumer le huitième feu?
and in this prophecy at the seventh fire, there's a phrase that is very important for me. And it says, are we the people who will light the seventh and eighth fire?
Est-ce que c'est nous ou bien est-ce que c'est les petits enfants?
Are we talking about us or are we talking about our grandchildren?
Alors, moi, je suis là avec les enfants.
I'm
C'est pas
here
moi qui vais
for
changer.
these future generations.
On a encore beaucoup de chemin à faire
We have a long way to go
ensemble,
together,
marcher ensemble,
walking together,
ramer en canot ensemble.
paddling together in the same canoe. So what was the next question, Ronnie?
The second part to that question was, how do we practice letting go of our barriers on a daily basis?
Comment on fait pour lâcher prise sur nos propres barrières à chaque jour?
Moi, je suis un peu l'exemple.
I am an example, I think.
Quand j'étais dans la politique,
When I was a politician,
j'étais nommé, j'étais élu.
I was elected.
Et j'avais un mandat assez serré.
And I had a very tough mandate.
Ce n'était plus chômiste.
Then I was not chômiste.
C'était une machine.
I was a machine.
Parce que j'avais beaucoup de dossiers à défendre.
Because I had so many issues to, themes to work on.
Alors, c'est important de modérer toutes les activités qu'on fait, qu'on reçoit le mandat.
To slow down all our activities and slow down with all the mandates that are given to us.
Il y a un grand-père qui est venu me voir pendant que j'étais chef.
I remember this grandfather who came to me when I was a chief.
Il dit, tu n'as plus le même langage.
He said, you don't have the same language anymore.
Tu n'es pas un chef politique.
You're not a political chief.
J'ai saisi tout de suite la parole d'un aîné.
Straight away, I understood what he meant.
J'étais obligé de quitter
And I was obliged to leave
pour ma santé,
for my own health
parce que j'avais trop de pression.
because I had too much pressure.
J'étais le grand chef,
I was the grand chief,
mais même si j'avais divisé mes tâches,
even though I had delegated my duties to different people.
c'était tellement heavy, pesant.
It was
les
so
dossiers.
heavy, all the issues that we had to work on.
Aujourd'hui, je suis très calme.
Today, I'm very calm.
Je suis allé en méditation
I went
pour
meditating
trouver vraiment, pour être un Anishinaabe,
in order
un être humain,
to come back to Anishinaabe, the human being,
de prendre le temps de marcher sur la terre
to
sacrée.
take the time to walk on sacred earth.
Des fois, on peut faire ça, marcher les pieds nus sur la terre sacrée.
Sometimes you can do that, walking barefoot on sacred earth.
C'est là que j'ai trouvé le mouvement, l'esprit de la tortue.
And that's when I found the movement of the spirit of the turtle. Comment tu le fais chaque jour?
Chaque
Employers
jour, pour
Advisors
moi,
Office,
c'est
Jessica
important.
speaking.
Oh, back to mute. OK. Comment on fait chaque jour?
Chaque jour, c'est important pour moi de penser moi-même avant.
So when you want to do it on a daily basis, it's very important that you remember thinking of yourself first.
Mon esprit est toujours soit au bord de la rivière, au bord d'un lac,
My
ou bien
spirit
dans la forêt.
is always next to a river, a lake, or the forest.
Et je pense aussi à des animaux qui sont bien.
And I think also about the animals who feel good.
Je dois être comme eux.
I must be like them.
Un exemple comme Makwa,
For instance,
d'avoir la
Makwa,
force de trancher à chaque jour dans
Makwa
les obstacles.
is the bear. And it reminds me of having the strength to get rid and slice into problems.
Et d'être aussi un petit souris.
Or to
Tout
be
petit.
like a little mouse too.
Je suis là dans l'esprit de la forêt.
I bring my spirit into the forest.
Chaque jour, c'est comme ça. Tous les matins, je prie, je remercie.
Every morning I pray and I thank.
Et je dis moi-même qui je suis, moi, aujourd'hui.
And I ask myself, who am I today?
Je suis Anishinaabe,
I'm Anishinaabe,
un être humain,
a human being,
et non pas une machine.
and not a machine.
Malgré tous les obstacles qui arrivent de chaque côté, je dois marcher, je dois regarder à l'avant comme des animaux.
Even if there are many obstacles everywhere, I must walk straight forward like an animal.
Même les oiseaux volent en avant.
When you think about it, the birds fly forward.
Même les poissons, ils vont en
The
avant.
fish swim forward.
C'est juste les humains qui
Only
reculent.
human beings go backwards.
Et c'est là qu'on peut arriver dans un obstacle qu'on appelle un burn-out.
And that's when you start having obstacles like burnout.
À chaque pas, je gagne ma vie.
For each step of the way, I earn my life.
Et je ne suis pas égoïste en disant ça.
I don't think I'm selfish by saying that.
Je pense qu'on devrait tous marcher,
I
tous en
think
avant de ça,
we should all walk softly
sans avoir
forward
peur, ne pas avoir peur.
without being afraid.
Okay. Next question comes from Melanie. How do we live a life slowed down when work doesn't slow down?
Comment on peut ralentir quand le travail, lui, ne ralentit pas?
Nous sommes Anishinaabe.
We are Anishinaabe.
C'est nous le moteur.
We are the engine.
C'est nous à prendre la décision.
We are the ones to take the
On n'est pas
decision.
obligé de finir chaque jour tout ce qu'on reçoit.
We're not obliged to finish every day all what we receive.
Il faut vivre au jour le jour.
We have to live day by day.
C'est le matin que tu prends la décision
And
de ne
you
pas se faire
take
envahir
the
par ton
decision
travail.
every morning not to be overloaded by your work.
Mon père m'a toujours dit,
My dad always said,
fais ce que tu peux faire dans la journée.
do what you can do in one day,
Le Créateur il va te donner une autre journée.
and Creator will give you another day.
C'est comme ça qu'il faut voir.
That's how we should see
Mino Matisi8in pour être bien dans la
Matisi8in
peau.
how to be feeling well in your own skin.
J'écoute pas souvent des nouvelles.
I don't listen to the news very often,
C'est ça qui m'affaiblit des fois.
and that's what weakens us sometimes.
J'ai pris une décision
I took a decision
de ma journée est importante pour moi, pour les autres aussi.
that my day is important for me and for the others too.
J'ai pas à courir après
I
quoi
don't
que ce
have
soit.
to run after anything.
Je ferme la boutique quand j'ai terminé ma journée.
I close the shop when the day is over.
Je la mets pas à la maison.
I don't bring work back home.
Dans la maison, il y a de l'amour.
And in my home, there's love.
Je parle de ça parce que j'ai passé très dur moment dans ma vie aussi.
I talk about it because I went through hardship also in my life.
Tant qu'aussi longtemps que j'ai pas compris c'est quoi le silence.
As long as I didn't understand what was silence
Et d'écouter moi-même
and to listen to myself
et de réparer mon jardin à
and
moi.
to fix my own garden first
Toujours rester dans mon jardin.
and always remaining in my own
Je suis
garden.
toujours prêt à aider les gens.
I'm always ready to help the others,
Si je suis pas prêt, je peux pas donner.
but if I'm not ready, I cannot give anything.
Mon père il m'a toujours dit, donne-toi tout à
Dad
toi,
always said, give everything to yourself
puis nourris-toi d'amour.
and feed yourself with love.
Et là, tu vas pouvoir te occuper de tes frères et sœurs.
And then you can take care of your brothers and sisters.
Je vous adore tous.
I adore you all.
Okay, next question comes from Kim. When you mentioned you have 7 pipes, when and how do you receive those pipes?
Tu as mentionné que tu avais 7 pipes sacrées. Quand et comment tu as reçu ces pipes?
On ne sait jamais quand on reçoit un calumet.
You never know when you're going to receive a sacred pipe.
Je pensais jamais dans ma vie que je tiendrais un calumet de mes ancêtres.
I never thought in my life I would hold a sacred pipe from my ancestors.
Je suis un enfant chanceux
I'm a lucky child on this earth.
J'ai toujours été entouré des grands-pères
I
et des
was
grand-mères,
always surrounded by grandfathers and grandmothers,
à connaître toute la médecine,
learning all the
les plantes médicinales
medicinal plants,
et la médecine aussi des femmes, de l'accouchement
also
et tout
the
ça.
medicine of women and delivering babies.
On m'a toujours été entouré des anciens.
I was always surrounded by elders.
Jamais que j'avais pensé qu'un calumet
But
y arriverait.
I never thought that a sacred pipe would come to me.
Puis ils m'ont enseigné encore d'aller plus loin,
And I was taught to go further,
à jeûner,
to fast,
d'être dans la forêt tout seul.
to be alone in the forest.
C'est un sacrifice que j'ai fait beaucoup,
It's a sacrifice I've been
de
doing
laisser
a
tout
lot,
en arrière de moi.
to let go of everything behind
Je suis
me.
un homme de canot.
I'm a canoe man.
J'étais toujours avec mon canot
I was always with my
et j'ai
canoe,
dû quitter mon canot.
but I
aussi.
had to leave my canoe.
J'avais besoin des enseignements spirituels
I
et de
needed the
médecine.
spiritual teachings and the medicine.
Ma mère elle m'a donné beaucoup d'enseignements.
My mom gave me lots of teachings,
Et c'est la deuxième calumet que j'ai reçue.
and that's when I received the second pipe.
Et chaque calumet a un mandat.
Each sacred pipe has a mandate.
Et ça ne veut pas dire que je suis plus haut que les gens.
Doesn't mean that I'm higher than the others.
Je suis tout simplement gardien
I'm simply a keeper,
de tout ce qui est
a
sacré.
guardian of everything that is sacred.
Je me promène pas avec mes calumets.
I don't walk around all the time with my pipes.
Quand j'ai un mandat,
When I have a
je vais
mandate,
utiliser tel calumet.
I will use this or that sacred pipe.
Et c'est là que j'ai aperçu aussi que tu dois d'être honnête aussi envers moi-même.
And I also realized how much we have to be honest towards ourselves,
J'ai menti.
because
Une
at
fois.
one point in my life, I was lying.
Je devrais aller au Japon,
Ah.
à Chine pour une cérémonie sur une montagne.
I was asked to celebrate the ceremony on a mountain in China,
Et je refusais.
and I refused.
Et quand je refusais,
And when I refused,
on m'a été appelé
I was called
dans un cercle des anciens.
into a circle of elders,
Il m'a dit, nomme-moi tout.
and one of the elders said,
Chaque calumet, nomme-moi le mandat que tu as.
he asked me to give the mandate of each one of the 7 sacred pipes.
J'ai manqué celui de la 5e.
And I didn't respect the mandate of the 5th
Parce que
pipe
c'est cette calumet-là, j'aurais dû aller en Chine.
because the
avec.
mandate of that pipe was for me to travel.
Mais je n'ai pas pu y aller, fait qu'ils m'ont enlevé mon
And
calumet.
because I didn't go, the pipe was taken away from me.
C'est pour ça que je dis, on n'est pas maître de nous-mêmes.
That's
Quand
why
on
I
porte un
say
objet sacré, on doit respecter.
that we are not the master of those pipes. We have to respect what the elders are asking us to do.
Et ça n'arrive pas souvent quand tu es appelé dans le cercle des anciens.
It's not often that you're called to go inside this circle of elders.
Mais cette fois-là, quand ils m'ont enlevé mon calumet,
That day when they took away my pipe,
j'ai été très, très touché, mon orgueil.
my pride was really hurt.
Et j'étais très, très en colère aussi.
I was very angry.
Pourquoi qu'ils m'ont donné, pourquoi qu'ils m'ont enlevé.
Why did they give it to me, and why did they take it away?
Alors, c'est là que j'ai compris.
And that's when I understood.
Quand tu t'engages à un mandat, tu dois respecter.
When you commit yourself towards a mandate, you have to respect
Alors,
it.
ils m'ont enlevé mon calumet.
So they took that sacred pipe away.
Et 2 ans après, ils m'ont
Mm.
rappelé encore le cercle des anciens.
2 years later, I received again a call from the
J'ai dit,
circle of elders.
Ça y est, j'ai un autre calumet qui va partir.
And I
peut-être.
thought, that's it, I'm losing another one.
Mais c'est au contraire.
But to the contrary,
Je reçois juste des mots d'amour
I received only words of love
parce que je n'ai pas repris un autre calumet pour remplacer.
because I didn't take another pipe to
J'ai
replace that one.
accepté mon erreur
I accepted my mistake.
et ils m'ont remis après,
And
2 ans après.
2 years later, they gave back the pipe.
Et les calumets, quand on porte des calumets,
When you are a sacred pipe carrier,
c'est une mérite de ton chemin de spirituel, de médecine.
it's a merit on your spiritual path.
Et je l'ai gagné comme vous, vous êtes diplômé.
Earned it like you did with your diplomas.
Et je suis certain que vous êtes fiers avec votre
And
diplôme,
I'm
votre
sure you
réussite.
are proud about your successes.
Et c'est la même chose pour moi.
It's the same for me.
Maintenant, je comprends la responsabilité.
Today, I understand the responsibility,
Et je ne pense pas que je vais perdre un autre calumet.
and I don't think I will lose another pipe.
On n'a pas droit à acheter des calumet. Ça ne
And
s'achète pas.
you
Ça.
have to know also that you have no right to buy a sacred pipe. It's not possible to buy a pipe.
Le côté féminin, c'est important, ça représente vous les femmes.
The feminine part of the pipe is important. It represents you, women.
Et le bâton,
And the stem
c'est les hommes représentent.
represent the men.
Alors, ça ne s'achète pas,
And
les humains.
you cannot buy a man or a woman.
C'est la même chose pour le tambour.
Same thing for a drum.
On l'appelle tewagan.
We call them tewagan,
Tewagan qui veut dire le battement de cœur de l'enfant.
meaning the child's heartbeat.
C'est toi l'enfant de la
And
terre.
you are the
J'ai pas-
earth's child.
Ça ne s'achète pas un cœur.
And
On
our
reçoit.
heart cannot be bought. You have to receive it.
Alors, c'est tous des enseignements qui sont
These
très, très,
are
très pour moi
All
importants.
teachings that are very important to me.
Et c'est peut-être pour ça que je suis debout
And
encore aujourd'hui
maybe
par
that's
rapport à
why
tout ce que j'ai reçu.
I'm still standing up today because of all that I received from the elders.
L'histoire du passionnat, c'était très, très, très dur à passer des étapes.
All what I've experienced at the residential school was very, very hard. And there were very hard steps towards the healing,
C'est un long, long processus de
a
guérison.
very long healing process.
Je marche en avant.
And I walk forward.
Et miigwech d'être là.
Mm.
Vous m'aidez aujourd'hui.
Thank you for being here. You help me right now. Thank you. Maybe one last question, Ronnie, I think.
Yeah.
You lead, you tell us.
Going the next one. Is there a learning circle that Shomis offers for Indigenous people to reconnect with their Algonquin heritage?
Oh, I love that question. Elle demande s'il y a un endroit de guérison pour les Autochtones que toi tu guides. Pour les Autochtones, puis elle a parlé des Algonquins.
Il y a, dépendamment le besoin au niveau de la santé mentale,
Depending on the mental health needs that you have,
il y a des cliniques qui sont pour spécialement au niveau de problématiques au niveau de l'alcool par rapport aux souffrances.
there are clinics for addictions.
Et moi, depuis longtemps,
me-
j'avais un rêve de bâtir un endroit spécialement pour tous les peuples dans le monde entier, pas nécessairement juste les Autochtones.
I had this dream for a long, long time to build a place for healing and also teaching, but not only for First Nation people, but also for everyone who is interested.
Tout le monde souffre.
Everybody suffers.
Mais les priorités qu'on va donner des ateliers, c'est bien les survivants du passionnat.
But the priority in our workshops is for the people who survive the residential schools.
Nous avons des aînés
We
et nous
have
avons aussi des
elders,
grands-mères.
grandmothers, and grandfathers.
Alors, beaucoup de gens aussi qui ont eu l'expérience du passionnat.
Many people who went through the residential school system.
Et on a aussi des psychologues très, très
And we
spécialisés.
have psychologists also.
Les Autochtones, on a des médecins aussi.
We have doctors.
Alors, partout chez les peuples algonquiennes, dans des endroits, ils ont leurs spécialistes. Mais nous, on a un endroit très, très bel endroit.
In the different communities, you have specialized people, but us, we created this beautiful place north of Montreal,
On a un endroit près d'un lac.
near to a lake,
C'est dans la
close
forêt,
to a lake,
complètement
in
dans la
the
nature.
forest, in the nature.
On n'a pas d'électricité,
No electricity,
rien, comme c'était avant, pour
like it
ramener
was
la
before.
mémoire.
So that your memory comes back.
Il faut aller dans cette direction-là pour vraiment enlever toutes les douleurs.
We must go in this direction so that we can help the people getting rid of all those wounds and pain. So maybe I can tell you, it's what Ronnie mentioned at the beginning when she introduced. It's the organization is called Kinawat, which means together. And we're so proud of what we've been able to achieve so far. We can have groups from the First Nations for their own reconnection with their culture, for healing, but also for anyone who is interested. So maybe we can write it in the chat and then you have a look. And it's in French or in English or in Cree or in Algonquin or Atikamekw. So far, we've been doing a few languages like that.
Okay.
Website is in the chat now, kinawat.ca.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, so we are getting close to the end of our workshop here. I would like to thank you so very much, Shomis and Marie-Josée. We are so grateful for you to be here today. And I'd like to thank everybody for participating in this workshop. It was very meaningful and I very much appreciate your participation. As a reminder, if you are in Victoria today, we will now begin gathering for the Walk to End Violence. It will begin today at noon at Mungo Martin House on the corner of Belleville Street and Douglas Street. We will be walking down to the lawn of the BC Legislative Assembly, where there will be ceremony and speeches until 1 p.m. For those of you who are not in Victoria, we will be live streaming this event through our event microsite, which would have been sent out to all of you to join today. We will also be live streaming a fast-breaking ceremony, calling of witnesses, and closing remarks beginning at 8 p.m. Pacific time. We would be honored to have you join us for this. For those of you who are in later time zones, there will be a pre-recorded fast breaking ceremony available on our website so that you can break your fast at sundown in your own time zones. I'm now going to share the slide with the 2 questions for your feedback. So if you could just pop your answers into the chat function, that would be greatly appreciated. 2 questions are, what was the biggest takeaway from you from this workshop? And who will you share your learnings with?